Another great practice with Cathy Sachs. It is the 13th of April. Come around this way, Cathy. And we are going to start by sort of having the frame here.
I noticed that you labeled last week as yoga Pilates, which was fine. So you did Pilates during it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
The Pilates really has to do with
The
core, it's abdominal muscles, but it's also butt, back, and it's managing the trunk so that you're very stable. So that, for example, as you pick up a leg, you're trying for the pelvis, which is here, to not go with the leg. Or when you're moving your shoulder blades, which move your arms, you're looking for the ribs to not move with the arms. So, you know, some people will take their arms forward, like my mother, and she's let it round her rib cage forward, which also takes your spine with it. So Pilates is just a awareness and strength and flexibility when appropriate to firm up all the parts. So really it can be applied to almost anything.
Right. Okay.
And then yoga has this sort of a set series of asanas, and you can also, people adapt those to various things. So another great practice with Cathy Sachs. It's very nice to see you today. We're starting with a little bit of balance. I want you to stand where you can have this in front of you and use it a little or a lot, and then but stand at a diagonal so you can lift the knee would be your left knee up and then back down. You're looking for stabilizing on the legs so that you can not let the pelvis go with you. It starts to be very similar to tree pose. And I'm going to move this. I didn't realize that on this frame, see, I don't mind, this one is moved out of the way on this frame. So we'll put this here. That'll make it a little easier to just, the outside leg lifts. It's the standing leg. It does a lot of work, but you've also got the top of the thigh. Once you get comfortable with lifting and lowering, Cathy, you may want to use the mirror to sort of look at where the foot is, but it's nice to look up with the head because the head will kind of lead your upper body to fold forward a little bit if you're looking down. So
I find the mirror distracting, actually.
Do you?
I do, so.
Then don't look in the mirror.
Okay, I'll follow you.
All right, and then we'll just, yeah. You've got the groovy shoes on. And then we're gonna slide the knee out to the side and do the same thing a couple of times. And you won't go very far because you just don't have that much hip mobility, but you're asking that standing leg to do a lot. And it begins to be like tree pose, and then we'll come back to that. I'm gonna have us change sides so you can use the outside leg. So as we stand at a bit of a diagonal, so it's a comfortable place for that. And you can point your feet here to this corner. Yeah, and then you've got enough space that you've got something to sit on behind you if you were, and you've got a comfortable place for the hand. And then the outside foot, which should be your right foot, will just lift and lower. You don't have to take the foot all the way to the ground unless you want to. You can just tap the toe a few times. And I know that just having a sense of where the foot is and leg is in the space is part of what we're working with. You're gonna firm up, it's asking the standing leg, and you're doing great, Cathy. Okay. And then we're going to slide the knee out, a little out to the side, so it's not exactly to the side. What is that, about 45 degrees? And our knees kind of go towards each other. And you're holding on. The knees are trying. Can we knock knees? No, let's not.
Am I doing it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you should feel it here, and you should also feel this in your standing leg. Is that true?
I should feel it.
You should feel it probably in the side hip of the standing left leg.
Oh, yeah.
And then you should also feel the muscles here lifting and lowering the leg.
Feel it here.
Because those muscles go into the kneecap.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're strengthening all of these. And then we're gonna let go of that, and let's change sides again. So you come over here, and let's face each other. You've got something behind you, and we'll let the arms slide up and down. So it's that breath pattern, inhaling up and exhaling down. Now, instead of going straight out, the arms coming at about 45-degree angle is kind of nice. You can come forward also, but it's noticing the inhale and then taking your time with the exhale. I call this ocean breath, but not that I made that up, somebody else. That it's, I'm mixing in a little bit of qigong or tai chi, and then come out a little bit wider, if that's comfortable. So not straight out, but about 45 degrees. The back of the hands lift as if your hands are floating on the surface of a wave. And then let's go back to straight forward. Yeah, and down. We're gonna come up and change it. We're gonna slide the arms wide and then come back together. You can think about stretching something out and then having it come back together. You could follow the inhale here and follow the exhale as your hands concentrate, whatever it is that's between them. This is also a sneaky way to get your shoulder blades and arms to just slide and glide. And then we're going to take that around in a circle and come to the heart. Let's come back to the bar so we can actually set up tree pose. Your feet, so now I want your feet aiming here because you're at this, and my feet are aiming at, we're using the corners of there. Your outside foot, which should be your left foot, and then slide your knee out to the side. You can settle the foot on the inside of the ankle, and you can look down for a minute to sort of set it up. You're trying not to sway over to your right. You're doing great. And then bring a hand to the heart. You can look up at something across the room, maybe at the corner of the room or a sconce, and then to challenge yourself more, as is appropriate, if you want to bring the arms together. I mean, not hands together in prayer position for tree pose. You can also have one hand on the heart and one hand near the bar or the frame of the reformer.
Is this called the reformer? Is that a Pilates term? Am I right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just challenging your standing balance. You can think about the roots of the tree growing deeply into the ground. I think those metaphors help us feel more grounded and secure. And then you can think about, even if it's just one hand, you can bring it up to create branches so that you have the roots growing deep in the branches, rising out to collect sunshine and clean air, moisture. Nice, Cathy. And then hand to the heart, foot to the floor, and both feet on the floor, and we are going to change sides. Your feet will aim at this corner while my feet aim there. And it'll be the outside leg, which is your right leg. Outside hand, right hand to the heart. The foot comes up. Take a moment and look down and sort of set up the ankles resting into it, and then bring the gaze up. Standing tall, roots pretty deep, branches, wherever is appropriate. A hand can stay on the heart. You can take a hand out to the side. You can take both hands up if you like. Fine. And you can also have one, you can play with whether or not you want to hold on to the frame of the reformer or just have the fingers on the frame of the reformer. The shoulders can release. Standing, a tree standing tall through its curves from ground to sky. And a couple of breaths here. And then release the hands to the heart or to the frame and the foot to the floor. Let's change back our sides. You can come to, and the shoulder rests are still on the reformer, so come a little to your left. Let's take our feet wide and angle them out slightly. Take your hands to your hips, and I want you to bend the knees, but I want you to have the knees going out. So they want to tip in. How can you get them to go out? A little bit of a tip of the tail and a scoop of the belly will help allow the knees to go out. Yep. And then this is goddess pose. Yeah. And you can, stay for a breath or two. You're trying to use the outside edges of the heels. If you were to go too far back, you would just end up sitting down. Let's straighten the legs.
Down.
Straighten the legs, and then come back to that bent knee goddess pose. A goddess pose usually is done by sticking the tongue out and crossing the eyes.
Really?
Yep.
All right. I think you tried that last week.
You could do it. You could do it. It definitely challenges your balance.
I think it would.
Straighten the legs. Take the hands to the hips. Heel toe step the feet together. And we're headed into variations of chair pose. Your feet can be hip distance apart or a little closer. You're looking to take the hands to the heart, bend the hip crease, the knees, and you're trying to send the tailbone back a little bit. Send the tailbone back a little bit, send the tailbone back, yeah. We'll do this 3 times. Come up to standing, and then come back to chair pose. Come up to standing, to chair pose. Come up to standing, and this time we're going to go ahead and come all the way down to a seated position. Walk the feet out wide. I'm going to slide this way so I can see Cathy Sachs in the camera when she's looking at the video. Take the heels up and down, up and down, up and down. You have nice mobility for the ankles. Now the toes up. Now opposite heel, like a walking sort of pedaling movement. Both heels up, and then release the feet back in. Step the feet back together. Bring a hand to the carriage, and I'll go in the same direction. So we're mirroring each other. I want you to slide so sort of slice your hand over a little or a lot, so it's a little bit of a lateral stretch, and you're using this hand that's on the carriage for some support. Flotsam and jetsam, and then hand here, and then rely on that hand as you come across on a low diagonal. So you have a little bit of a lean, which turns on some of the side muscles. And we're gonna go one more time to each side. And then back towards I call this the closet side of the room, because and this is the clock side of the room. And then cat-cow, mobility of the spine. So we work with some lateral stretches now. We're with a little bit, and then we're rounding the back. And then extend the back the other way. And if you take your hands to the side, you can sort of not tip the head up, but lift the sternum. And then come to, we'll do this a few times because I want you to exhale as you round the back. Inhale as you come to extension. You kind of slide the shoulder blades in toward the back, which helps. Rounding. Sliding into a slight extension. One more time in each direction. Extend, fold, flexion or fold. And one more extension. And then we're going to slide your right leg out. So if you slide your right leg out, and then tip the heel up and give the leg a little wiggle, turning, and it's not just the foot, you're thinking about all the way from the hip joint. And if the hands are on the side of on this platform, that might give you a little bit more support. And then completely let the leg go for a moment so the hip flexor quiets down. And then slide the foot back. And then take that leg, or actually let's do this. Lift the knee. It should be those same muscles we were working with earlier. We'll do this 3 times. Tap the foot, tap the foot, tap the foot. And now hold on to the leg and bring it onto your ankle. I mean, the ankle onto your knee. Don't bring it onto your ankle. Go good?
I understood.
I've been getting ready for the trip, and you know how you have an extra thing in your week, and it's like, wow, that's an extra thing. You know, like cleaning the house, packing, doing the laundry. But we usually do that yes, there's a
I would imagine.
From here, it's not just a rounding of the back, but you're trying to lengthen out. I sometimes kind of take my hands and and it's a sense that I might crawl over my feet, because what will happen is that helps to tip the pelvis slightly. And so it should be a stretch back here. Do you feel that on the outside of your leg and in the buttock a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just stay for a couple of breaths here. I sometimes will even flex that foot that's on the knee, which will make those muscles, it'll make it a little bit more of an active stretch. And then while you're here, we're going to actually take a hand to this carriage, the front hand to the knee, and look towards what I call the closet side of the room. So it's a little bit of a gentle turn of the upper back. And then come back over that and fold, lean, stretch forward one more time over the leg. And then we're going to come up, guide that leg back down to the ground. And then we're going to extend the left leg out straight.
Not the right for me, the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, did you do?
I think it's the right.
You turned that way, so it was the left leg you extended before. It'll be the right.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes. Let's not do the same leg twice.
Is there a rule about that? I'm teasing you.
We'll make one up.
Okay.
Do one side and then the other, and if you want to do it again, then do another set.
Okay.
And then completely let the leg go, which helps to kind of quiet down the muscles. Slide the heel back towards you, and this is when we'll lift the knee 3 times, 3 taps of the foot to the floor. And then you're going to help pick up that knee, slide. Oh, I've got shoe prints on my calf from tree pose.
Oh,
You know,
what are you going to do about that?
Dust it off.
That works.
And then while you're here, you can gently flex that foot. It's not just a rounding, but it's a sense of lengthening the back, the trunk out to an appropriate place to challenge or stretch the outside of that right thigh, right buttock. Do you get a sense of that?
Mm-hmm.
Stay for a couple of breaths. And then we're gonna come up and we're gonna keep this arrangement and turn a little bit this way. You can use, would be your left hand on your knee. And it's just a little purchase that you can will just help you feel supported to turn a little, to look toward the clock. And you hold so it's an active stretch, and you hold for a breath or 2, 3. And then come back to center. Release that foot back to the floor. And we'll work with the arms a little bit. So find wherever you're comfortable, because we're going to go wide with the arms like we did before, stretching something out, and then bring the arms together in a little wrap. You don't have to go very far.
Yeah.
We're going to make this just a slow movement. So it's wide. You don't have to go high. It's just moving the shoulder blades in the arms. You can inhale here and exhale as you wrap. Notice which arm's on top. The arms don't have to be very high or low. And then wrap. How's your PT coming?
Still working on it, but it's doing well. Next week I see the surgeon, the shoulder surgeon, because I'm going to get my right shoulder done.
Yeah.
That's my plan. We'll see if he'll do me after I complain about the left shoulder.
So you're going back to the same doc?
Yeah.
And who is that?
Dr. Brockmeyer.
I don't know.
There is supposedly he's the best in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
But he's got quite an ego.
Oh. Take your hands together and drop your elbows. Yeah. Take both hands, one to the thigh, one to the carriage, and just press this hand into the thigh. And look up. Bring the hands together, turn to the other side. It's a straight arm as you look over this way. Come back to center. I want to do a little bit to get the glutes a little activated. How are you doing with glute?
I'm
Glute
working
activation.
on it. Yeah.
And how was that going? Because you had been you've been in an reclined position, and you were just firing the glute.
Yeah, now I'm lying on my abdomen.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting the glutes working and hold my leg up.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I bring it back.
Yeah. Now, Cathy, last week when we worked, let me get something for the head, and we'll come onto our back and we'll work a little bit, all right?
Okay.
And how are you on hands and knees?
I can do hands and knees.
Okay, I think before we come onto the back, I'm gonna bring you up. We'll use hands and knees. You can use pads under the knees. The platform is padded some. And then I'm gonna give you some blocks for your hands so there's not as much weight on your shoulders. So that might help us in terms of being on hands and knees. I should get 2 blocks too, so that I can do what you're doing. There's only one block left. There used to be 4. Well, what do you know? There are not 4 anymore. Oh, I'm using the other block for the camera. All right, well, you'll see what I'm doing. So I can give you padding under the knees, if that would be helpful. And hands on the blocks will give you a little bit more support. I'd like to be beside you when you do this, but it's to start with that very traditional cat and cow. All right. Would you like to try pads under the knees?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
good.
think we'll see.
All right. I do like your colors, Cathy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, yeah, you have nice taste. Round the back, and and then extend. You can use
Extend what?
cat cow. So you did it, Cathy. So you round the back, but then you lengthen and you kind of look towards the bar, and you kind of tip your tailbone up a little bit, and then your tailbone goes down, and then you again bow the head. And so from head to tail, the head goes towards the floor, the tail goes towards the floor, and then you change the arc so the tailbone comes up a little bit and you look out. You can use the breath that you can exhale as you round, and then inhale as you extend.
Am I doing?
I'd like you to see about a little bit more movement through the pelvis. So as you round, it's a drop of the tail, and then as you extend, there's a little bit of a tip of the pelvis so the tailbone comes up. It's a tip this way, and then a gentle tip the other way. Do you feel what? Yeah, great. It's a slight tip as you round. And then as you look out, you can follow the in-breath here. There's also a scooping of the belly as you round to help accentuate that movement. And the low belly right below the belly button goes down as you drop the tail.
Okay.
All right. Are you comfortable sending the right foot back and tucking the toes and stretching through the foot and the heel? Yeah, and see if you can, and I'm here beside you, see if you can extend that leg and really actively stretch the leg. Great. Now this would be glutes. Right glutes. Belly is drawn up a little bit. Good. Now just tap the foot on the floor, off the floor 3 times. So you fire the right glutes as you lift the leg and place it back down. It's just a slight rise, or 1, 2, 3, and then bring the knee back down. Do that rounded back for a moment. How are you doing with the wrists and the shoulders?
Yeah, they're a challenge.
Yeah. Do you want to go on the second side, or should we just pause here? Are you okay?
Yeah, we can go on the second side.
All right. Draw the belly up, because you did perfect. Now send the other leg out. Stretch through the heel. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Nice. And then draw the leg up. Fire the left glute and tap the toe 3 times. Great, Cathy. And then knee to the floor and go ahead and round. And then come up to a seated position. Or you can swing your feet back this way. Good. All right. I'm taking the blocks out of the way. For your head, I presently don't have anything under my head because you have.
So on my back?
Yeah, you're coming onto the back. And I can give you a little bit more height if you need it.
Yeah, that's all right.
That looks like a good height, okay?
Yeah.
You're a little bit off on the diagonal. Take your hips, pelvis a little this way. Yep, just like that. Great. Now I'd like you, let me find a strap. That'll be helpful. Two straps is better than one. With the strap, draw the right knee into the chest, and then are you comfortable taking the strap over the foot? Send the foot high, okay? And I'm gonna come do the same thing, all right? While you're here, you're asking the pelvis to be fairly steady, so avoid rocking the pelvis. It's just to gently circle the leg. You don't have to have a straight leg, but you're just letting the leg circle in that hip joint. And then the other way around. How is that, Kathy?
It's fine.
Okay. You're going to come back to center and take both straps into your right hand, just into your right hand. I'm going to come up, but before you do this, it'll be the foot goes off to the side and you're trying to keep the pelvis steady. But I'm going to come and give you a little bit of a cue. So take your leg towards me and I want you to press your leg into me. And what I want you to notice is that as you press into me, that your left hip, that other hip and waist, helped to fire so that you can keep your pelvis steady. So really press in, and it's not it's. Do you feel an activation right here?
A little bit.
Press harder. Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay, and then I want you to take without me here, take the leg towards me and fire that same side waist muscles so that you don't tip the pelvis as your leg comes towards me, and I'm not going to assist unless they need me. So the leg comes towards me, and you're trying not to tip up that pelvis, so you're gonna fire right here. And then, and then come back to center with the leg, and then come towards me, fire that waist, and then come back to the middle, and then towards me, fire that waist, and then bring the leg back up to center, and then change legs. The easiest way to change legs is to take this foot high, catch the strap, and then release the other one. Yep. The leg goes high. You can have a strap in each hand if you'd like. That probably gives you more movement. And we're gonna circle the leg. A little or a lot, depending on, and you're asking the pelvis and lower back to stay relatively still as you move that leg in the hip joint, and then the other way around. So it's the right shoulder you'll be working on, you'll be talking to the doctor about?
Yeah. I don't have a good shoulder anyway, but the left still is better since I had the surgery a couple of years ago.
And then I'm going to play the same game. I want you to, it'll be activating those right hip muscles as you press your thigh into me, press your thigh into me, and it should be that these muscles fire over here. Do you feel that? Sort of?
Yeah, sort of.
And then I'm going to let you fire them on your own. Send this leg off to the side, and then pull it back to center. Send it to the side towards me, but keep this pelvis down so you're activating these muscles. Squeeze over here and then bring back to center. And then towards me one more time, and then back to center. Great. And now, point and flex the foot a few times. And then can you put both feet in the straps? I'll be here. Both feet in the straps. Now, how's the right shoulder? It takes a little bit of right shoulder. Because what I want you to do, I'm going to give you the straps. Your abs have to fire because you have to support the legs. Good? Terrible?
That's about what I can do.
Okay. You mean that's enough? Got to put the feet and legs down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then we'll slide the strap out of the way. While you're here, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll do it with you, because you won't be able to see me because you're lying on your back.
Okay, well.
Okay, you want me to do it over here, and then you can...
Where were you going to do it?
Well, I was going to go over there.
That's fine.
Can you kind of see? This is for gentle movement for the shoulders. It's to slide out and back in. If you need to be down here, that's fine. We did this standing and in seated. But then I want one hand high and it'll come across the midline. You'll look in the opposite direction. And then you'll look in the same direction that the hand's going. And then they'll come back together to look at the ceiling.
I'm not going to remember that.
I don't expect it.
Okay.
Come on back to you. Well, yeah, come back to your back. Which hand? Left hand high first.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to do two hands together. We'll do this. Actually, I just changed it, Kathy. I think this will be more pleasant for you. Bring the hands down by the side on the carriage. Turn the palms upward toward the ceiling, and then slide your arms out just to a comfortable place. That the hands are sliding off the carriage. And is that comfortable for the shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
Can you slide your arms a little wider? So the hands and the arms come off the carriage. Yeah. And is that comfortable for the chest,
Mm-hmm.
shoulders? And can you go a little wider? I call this a snow angel. So there's a little more space under the armpit. You're requesting that palms to be towards the ceiling. And then slide the baby fingers back towards the hips. And then go one more time, sliding out to a snow angel, and then back, the hands come back towards the hips. Take the left hand to point at the ceiling. This is where we're going to that second piece. Tip the hand towards me or towards the mirror. There's a mirror over here. And then I want you to look towards the door. So the hand comes across the body. Tip the hand over the body and let it fall to a comfortable resting place. It can be draped on the trunk if you want. And then look towards the camera or towards the door. And then look towards the fingers of that left hand. Look towards the mirror. And then look towards me. And then the hand and the head come back to center. There's muscles that go from the back of the skull to the shoulder blades. So the hand goes towards the mirror, towards me. Look towards the door. So the hand drapes towards me. The hand's falling towards me. The arm is falling towards me. You take the gaze towards the camera. And then you look at me. And I'm going to look at the mirror, and then the hand and the head come back to center, and then you release the arm down by the side. Now you're going to work with the right arm and see what, and let the left arm fall, let the left arm rest wherever it wants to. Right hand goes high, or as high as it wants to, and then it drapes towards the camera, so the hand falls towards the camera. Look towards me. And then look towards the camera, to the right, to the left, that's the left. And then the hand and the head come back to point at the ceiling. And we'll go one more time. So the right hand points at the ceiling. And then it tips towards the camera. And then look towards me first. So look away from the hand, look towards the hand or towards the camera. And then the head and the hand come back to center, and the hand, go ahead and rest it back down by your side so the elbow's resting on the ground. Okay. Draw the right knee into the chest, Cathy, and circle that knee a couple of times, and then the other way. Can you take that leg high to the ceiling, stretch the leg out, and then bend the knee? We'll go 3 kicks up to the ceiling like a can-can dance. And then the foot comes to the back to the floor or back to the carriage. Left knee comes into the chest. Circle the knee. Other way. And then the left foot kicks up to the ceiling and comes back down, left foot high, foot comes back down, left foot high, comes back down, left foot high, comes back down. And then let's come over onto our, are you comfortable on your side, Cathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do a few a little bit of work on the side. Do you have enough support for the head to lay on your side?
Mm-hmm.
The top knee rises and then comes back down. It's this muscle right here. The top knee rises and comes back down. You're trying to not tip the pelvis too. You're trying to just lift the knee. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. The pelvis stays still as the leg, it's small movement with the leg. How is that? Do you need more challenge?
No.
We'll go 2 more. Extend the leg out. Bottom knee is bent. And lift the leg. And then we'll do little circles. Look at you go. And then the other way. And then draw the knee back in. Your hand is right where I want it. I want you to drop your elbow towards the wall, the carriage, which helps to open this shoulder a little bit. So and then you can look up just a little bit towards the ceiling or towards that bar light and let that elbow drop back, which helps the shoulder blade and the chest open. Yep. And then we're gonna take this hand here and come up so we can change sides. I'm going to have you put your head down here this time. There you go.
Get on that left side.
Mm-hmm. Knees are stacked evenly, or aspiring to be even. The head is resting. And we start with clamshells. You're looking for the knee to rise, and we did about 10. You're looking for the pelvis to not move, so it's not tipping back. That was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're extending that leg out. Bottom knee is bent. The leg lifts fairly straight, and we'll do circles. We did about 5 in each direction. 3, 4, 5, other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw the knees in. Hand on the hip. Elbow drops towards the wall, the floor behind you. And just gently turn the head so you're looking up toward the ceiling. Do you feel an opening through that top shoulder and chest?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then the shoulder blade just gently slides towards the ground. So it's just a nice opening through the chest. And then hand to the carriage, top hand to the carriage. We're going to roll up, come up to a seated position. It's too sleepy a day to stay on the back too long. We're both going to go to sleep if we stay there. All right, you ready? Slide your feet back so your heels are up a little bit. We're going to do some chair pose work, all right, which is squats or sit to stand, depending on how you want to look at it. Come up and back down. We're going for 10 times. 1, plop.
I don't think.
2, 3. Now you work with your shoulders, but some people like to bring a little more weight to their hands, and that'll give them more stability. 5, you're doing great, Cathy. 6, 7, 8. Slide your feet a little further back, because if your heels are a little bit up, and as you come up, if your feet are out further, it makes it harder. Yeah. Is that 8?
Mm-hmm.
9, 10. Coming all the way up to standing. Woohoo! There goes Cathy. All right, we're going to do a little bit of stepping to the side and stepping back. Stepping to the side and stepping back. Yep. Just keep this pattern going, and we'll add some things as we go. So it's nice to work on that lateral side step. Now we're going to slow it down a little bit, because as you step, I want you to bring your knee up, and then just leave the other. And then as the leading knee comes up, and you slide. Leading knee comes up and slide. Leading knee comes up and slide. Up and slide. Up and slide. We'll go about 4 more. Slide, up and slide. Last one, up and slide. We slowly made our way towards each other. Now we get to dance in a circle and jump up and down.
Make that funny face.
I'm going to get you to make that face one day.
Good luck.
I'm going to give you, I'm being audacious, Cathy Sachs.
Uh-oh. I'm not sure what's going to come out of there.
You've got 2 pounds, Cathy Sachs. I want you to do
2 in each. 1 in each. 2 in each.
2 in each.
Okay.
And you're going to do a bicep curl, and then come back down. A bicep curl, and come back down. Now can you lift a knee and put the knee back down? And then the hands come down as the knee comes down. And then the other knee. And then come back down. And just keep that. And the knee doesn't have to come up very far, but you're looking for, as the knee comes up, you do a bicep curl and then back down. So you've got a little standing balance and some arms. You look great. Keep going. How's that doing on the shoulders?
All right.
Lift and lower. The arms lift, the knee lifts. Now, can you lift the knee, step, slide. Bicep curl, lift the knee and step. And as you slide, the hands come down. Lift the knee and a bicep curl. Keep your hands still as you step. And then as you slide, the hands come down. A bicep curl and lift the knee, step, and then as you slide, the hands come back down. Bicep curl, lift the knee, step, slide, and the hands come back down. 4 more. Bicep curl, lift, step, slide, and the hands come down. Bicep curl, lift, you're doing great. Step, slide, and the hands come back down. Bicep curl, lift, slide, come back down. Last time. Bicep curl, wait, the hands are come down. Now they come back up. How you doing, Cathy?
I'm looking forward to the end of this. Oh my God.
Cathy, I can't believe that was an hour.
Can you believe that it wasn't an hour?
Is that correct?
Well, let me check.
Okay, there was a moment I thought we were both going to go to sleep, but that was awfully.
That's right.
Okay, so we did a little bit with spine flexion. We did a little bit. The only thing I'd like to do is I would like a little bit more abs. Let's do some, you tell me if this is going to work for you. You can, I know you won't necessarily have this at home. Come stand here. Your hands are here. Don't go very far. Watch out for the blocks, I just tumbled everywhere. But what I want is, it is arms, but what I want is I don't want the pelvis to sway forward. So you have to turn on the abs. Don't go very far. It's just a straight arms, and it's just a little bounce, bounce, bounce. But the game is to keep the weight on the heels and not let the pelvis move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You did great. And how's that on the shoulders?
It's all right.
This should activate these muscles right here. Lats. I feel them. See, I feel them on this side too. Yes, there are those lats.
I don't feel them, but I believe you.
Well, it's right here.
Okay. All right.
And I feel them more on the left than on the right.
Uh-huh.
Try to not use your, oh, yeah, look at that. That's don't use this thumb and it'll activate the lats more. So see your hand is like this. Don't use this thumb, bring it on top. Yeah, and then, and let's see if that makes a difference. It does. Cathy, it does.
Yeah, I feel it. Yep.
Nice. These muscles anchor the shoulder blades right here, so that they counterbalance these muscles. And let's go 2 more. Yay, Cathy Sachs. You're so cute. You got muscles in there. You got jamming muscles.
Hardly muscles.
You have muscles.
Okay.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I'm going to have to let you go. That nice man is going to be waiting for you saying, where is Cathy Sachs?
Listen, I hope you have a great trip.
Thank
2 weeks is wonderful.
I wish it was a month. I mean, except that I would miss you.
Oh, I can deal with it for you to get more vacation time.
Oh, speaking of vacation time, let me close the video. Bye, Cathy.